randomly. We only random the pyromancer and the sorcerer. Like, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Bro, it's broken, dude. Okay, we did get the hero. Hold on, I'd like to buy the other characters. We have a lot of souls. Thief, Wanderer, and Bandit. I can't afford them. Okay, random me once more. You gotta be kidding me, man. Okay, I'm gonna play as the Thief. A cloaked scoundrel who uses stealth and trickery. Lockpicking allows attempting to pick a lock when you don't have keys. Well, in that case, let's do that. And like, instead of starting with 3 keys, I don't know, man. Let's start with like, let's start with the poison-filled jar. Let's start with a storm in a bottle. Let's start with 5 bombs. Sounds nice. Sure. Anyway, start me up. How did the Oilers get Gretzky and McDavid? Well, like, here, check this out, okay? They got Gretzky because, like, in the 1970s, there was no semblance of parity in the NHL. So basically, they could just, like, sign him. They could just offer him a contract. And if he thought that they had the best contract, then he's in. Or they're in. Then they got McDavid because they were unbelievably trash for, like, you know, like, 12 years. They were so bad that the NHL actually had to change the rules surrounding the NHL draft. Because they were so bad, constantly got very good draft picks, and then squandered them. So people, like other teams, complained. They were like, hey, the Oilers are so ass, they're making the rest of the league assier because they keep squandering their draft picks. I just clicked immediately. I don't even know what I clicked on. 25% increase the attack speed? Sure, okay, why not? Anyway, they deserve it for being so ass for so long. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to knock the Oilers. I'm just saying, I mean, they did kind of ruin it for the rest of us. Like, the Canucks have moved down in the NHL draft due to the new lottery rules, like, every time. And we've been legit ass, man. Then every year we finish, like, 4th last, and we're like, okay, here we go. We're picking 7th. Okay, just listen. We don't have as overpowered a setup as we used to. It means I gotta minimize my glancing. Like, almost every team has been screwed by the draft lottery, except the Rangers and the Devils. I'm not even hating, it's just luck, but... Canucks looking for a Bedard win this year? Listen, okay? This is like my... So, I really started to follow the team in, like, 2014, 2015. Because I'd lived in Vancouver for a couple of years at that point, and I was like, oh, I need a hobby. Sports, okay. You know, I was a Montreal Canadiens fan growing up. +1 armor? Why not? Sure. And then no keys is okay. So they made the playoffs that season, and then they got bad. Like really bad. So from basically 2015 till now, which is 2022, with one kind of aberrant season that happened during the COVID bubble. He's insane. We've been pure ass. And every year, it's like, we tanked for Austin Matthews back in the day. Imagine that. We tanked for Alexis Lafreniere. We tanked for Jack Hughes. We tanked for... Shane Wright, who ended up then being Slavkovsky instead. This is like the 7th draft lottery in a row where we have been like, don't worry, losing is okay as long as we get the #1 draft pick, and then at the actual lottery being like, oh, okay. Now, mind you, with those good picks, that's still how we got Patterson and Quinn Hughes and, you know, some great players. But still, I get that it's like it's the opium of the masses to believe that your suffering will end in the draft lottery. Maybe it will, but there's also a pretty good chance that you just end up picking like 4th, and then eventually someday it you know, pans out for you. But I'm gonna buy a power gem. You know what? I will buy a Cialid. Take my power gem. Sports ball people are so cringe. Don't let me catch you post on like fucking r/teamfight tactics. Yeah, I don't know what they did with dwarves this season. I used to go dwarves every time for the +1 HP bonus, but Riot, as usual, fucked it up. Don't let me catch you on fucking Path of Exile talking about how many imperfect topazes you need to create a semi-perfect topaz, which will help your crit chance. And then if you look, you see where the 2 lines on this custom-made graph that I programmed in R intersect. If you can play 17 hours a day, that's the intersection point where it's better to invest in semi-perfect gems instead of just going with imperfect gems. Shut the fuck up! Don't yuck my yum. Okay, hold on. What even, like, is my guy? Can my guy use a bow effectively? Why not? I mean, he's a dex scaler. Why give him a chance? Okay. It doesn't help out our crit chance as much, but if we do it at a long range, it does a lot more damage. See, like, that seems pretty good. That doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with that. Let's get permanent infusions. I can live with that. Has enabling Who Asked done psychic damage to you? No, honestly, like, I think it can be helpful to keep me in check. Like, if I see, like, 1 Who Asked, I'm like, that's not that big of a deal. But if I see, like, a wall of Who Asked, I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's time to stop talking about the S&P 500 again. I should know my lesson by now. Sometimes you know, there's these very interesting economic conditions, okay? Thought other people would be interested. Clearly, that's not true. Hey, this weapon's kind of sick, man. Not only do I read chat, because someone said he reads chat, I read chat all the time. You ever notice, like, VIP Daniel, Macros, they never say, like, he doesn't read chat? It's because they write good comments, and their comments then get stolen and read by me, and then people go, wow, NL's so funny today. Sometimes people just spam, like, inane stuff over and over, and they're like, why doesn't he read chat? Oh, I read it. I read it, don't worry. I didn't say it. I didn't say it out loud, but I read it inside. And I said, man, I sure hope they stop asking that same question over and over. It's the 25th time they've asked that question in the last... And sometimes is when somebody spans something 10 times in like 2 minutes, that's like almost semi-normal behavior, in my opinion. Look at this. Nimble disc cannon. I gotta give it a shot at least. What really gets me is when, like, there have been situations where people spam the message, like, every 10 minutes, the same message every 10 minutes, for, like, a week. Like, 6 times an hour, they'll come in and say the exact same thing. And I'm like, I really thought after, like, a day, you would be like, he's not gonna answer this. But no, you got, like, written on a Post-it note, like, beside your monitor or something. Just waiting for me to finally get to it someday. Dude, you always take acrobatics. That's just a given. And we want infusion effects. What if it's a bot? No, it's not. They're not, I should say. Let me go Ranger Slash. Why not? We need better reload speed. Did we? That was that last run where we got a ring for that? What is the adult Happy Meal? Listen, I don't know. This is not Google, man. Plus 20 range damage. Where does this even go? Right there. I'm pretty sure the adult Happy Meal is just like a normal McDonald's meal, but it comes with a toy that is funny for adults. It's a marketing thing, and you know what? You played right into their hand, didn't you? It's like they added it to the menu for Rage Bait, I think, so people would be like, look at this. Back in my day, the adult Happy Meal was a Schlitz lager and a ham sandwich. Kids these days don't know, or the millennials these days can't handle the stress of real life. Hey, hold on. I'd like to get my bow, thank you. And you played right into their hand. Don't you feel silly? I'm familiar with Schlitz, of course. It used to be America's #1 beer brand. Until they I mean, you should read the Wikipedia article for Schlitz sometime. It's like a great case in how to not run a business. They started, times got tough, despite being the best-selling beer in the country. So they started adding corn syrup to the beer instead of malt extract. And then, 10 years later, the FDA... Well, first off, in the article, it's like customers immediately noticed the horrendous taste. But then, 10 years later, the FDA was like, hey, you have to legally disclose all ingredients in your beer on the label now. And they said, oh shit, we don't want to let people know that we have corn syrup in the beer. So they added something called, silica extract instead. And then they filter it out before bottling so that they didn't have to put it into the ingredient list. It's just a really bad way to... Anyway, they don't exist anymore. They were purchased in 2008, and then the company that purchased them was then purchased in 2011 or something like that. That's how bad of a company it was. It sank the company that acquired them. They're back? No, listen. I read the Wikipedia article 3 days ago. They're still selling the brand of Schlitz, but the corporation that originally ran it is long since defunct. The label has returned though. Yummy. I want to open that. Sure, why not? Gold. Tasteless, odorless gold. I would like a new weapon. I don't think this weapon is good enough. Blessed Thorn Bow inflicts poison. I'm kind of into that. What the heck is this, though? Bone Wand? It's a family show. Dude, Thief is kind of sick, huh? Revives you from death, but destroys the item. I'm not going to need that. I can tell you straight up, that won't be necessary. I would like to encounter a blacksmith and upgrade this weapon. I feel like we're about to fail some DPS checks. Any new Subway stories? Might surprise you? The answer is definitely no. When I was in Daegu, they didn't let me into a club because I was a foreigner. Yep, that's the thing that happens in Korea. There are some places that are locals only. Sure, I'll heal for 5. Why not? There are also some places you have to show when you live in Korea as a it's potion seller, dude. When you live in Korea as a foreign resident, you get something called an alien registration card, which is way more metal, or it's way less metal than it sounds like. But there are places you have to show your alien registration card to go inside. I think it's they might legitimately have like a quota and be like, we can only have like 6 foreigners in the in the club at any given time. And then there's also some places that allow foreigners but don't allow military personnel in. It would happen like now and then in Daegu, because there was like, I don't know if the camps are still open, but there was like a few American military camps there. No! You would just be like enjoying yourself at a bar, and then like military police would come in, and half of the bar would get really quiet, and then like 2 40-year-old men would leave with like a 21-year-old man. Not like under arrest, but like under duress, I suppose. Hold on, I've enhanced your weapon. Pray I don't enhance it further. Where did they go? I mean, I'm pretty sure they just went... I'm pretty sure they just weren't supposed to be, like, out, or they weren't supposed to be that drunk. So military police come in and are like, hey, dummy, go back to base. I will say, and this is not meant to be a knock on the American military, okay? Or the fine individuals involved in it. But this just... For an anecdote... A colleague of mine, when I taught in South Korea, went on a couple dates with a member of the American military who also happened to be stationed in Daegu. And I swear to God, he said to her, and then she said to us, isn't it amazing how smart Korean dogs are? Because they have to learn Korean to understand their owners. He thought that all dogs just learn English sort of like by default. And then that dogs in Korea would have to learn Korean in order to understand the commands from their owners. This is every profession, I'm sure, has people. I mean, I'm sure there's streamers who believe way stupider stuff than that, to be honest. But that is it's always stuck with me, that's for sure. You know what? I will get another blood chest. Got enough blood tests this year. Why don't you give me a blood chest for once? Loveless. Reduces elemental damage taken. I'm down with my 25% crit chance, honestly. Come on. Come on. Souls? For souls? But, oh, blacksmith whetstone. Okay, I do like that. Okay. You can bomb the arcade machine. You know what? Great intel. +2 armor, -5% movement speed. I kind of like my armor, dude. Like that lady who wanted them to move the deer crossing sign. Wait a minute. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that, but, are you telling me that she wanted them to move the deer crossing sign because she wanted to change where the deer were crossing? It's not safe to let the deer cross here? Bro, come on. Come on. You wanna buy a bomb? Honestly, I think I'm good. That is very funny. Okay, what do you got for me? 20 gold to recover my health. I'm not paying 20 gold for 1 HP, I'm sorry. What is this? Oregon Trail? Blacksmith's whetstone. Recovers 1 heart. Immediately vindicated. +2 bombs, okay. Anyway. It's just humorous. I mean, listen, it's not a serious thing. I've told this story many times before. But we did have a couple of incidents in South Korea. Once I was riding the subway with a friend of mine. I'm gonna take the 5th attack guaranteed crit. And we were sitting down on the subway, and then there was a well-dressed Korean man that was getting off the subway. He was a younger guy, probably like in his mid-20s, and he looked at us. He gave us kind of like a cracked smile. He was like, you know, like we're like, oh, why is this guy? But you get used to having like some attention as a foreigner in Korea. Like kids will come up to you and just say like, hi, how are you? And like parents will come up to you and be like, and this is not a joke at all. This happened also when we were there for vacation in like 2018. But like parents will come up to you, or even teachers will come up to you and be like, hey, you look like you speak English. Can you do some like English conversation with our students? And I'm like, oh, I guess so. Why not? But so you're not necessarily looking at it as if like, oh, something's about to go down. But then he got off the subway, and he like looked at us through the doors, and he said, why are you hiding white bitches? And I just kind of looked at my friend, and I was like, you know, is this really happening right now? And then he gave us both the middle finger and said, why are you hiding white bitches? And then the doors closed, and he just like ran away. And then all I remember is like, first off, it was like a very humorous, as far as racism goes, I guess it was a humorous racist incident. But then also it was so awkward because we had like 4 more subway stops to go before we got back to our neighborhood, and nobody on the subway said anything to us at all. Nobody said like, I don't expect them to like apologize for the actions of like another person that they're not involved with, but I just thought like maybe someone would look at us and give us like a little smile or something like that. It'd be like, you know, we understand, but no, they would like, we were on our own, man. And then one time when I was walking home, I did get yelled at and told to go home, but they assumed I was American. I'm not saying that makes it okay to yell at someone to go back to their country, but I was like less offended because they were like, you know, they said like basically go back to America. It doesn't make it better, but I was like, not only is it like a little offensive, but also you're just wrong. So it's like, I guess it was harder to be offended. But then like another time, the same friend of mine were eating at a restaurant. When we left the restaurant, an old man came up to us and saluted, and we were trying to figure out like what's going on, and then he pulled out a card from his wallet that was like his Korean military ID from the 1950s, and I was like, this is like racial, but in the other way. It's like, I don't deserve any credit for that shit, man. I didn't do anything. I was not involved, nor was I think like anybody I'm related to like closely at all, but we were just like, yes, okay, kamsahamnida, have a nice day. Hold on, let me see here. This is like not even close. I feel like the sniper bow was actually doing great stuff for us. I feel like the blessed thorn bow is not what we want. I feel like we want sniper bow. Cluck eye is very good. Chickens deal 1,800% more damage. Is that supposed to be good? All right, it's insane. Give it a chance. Okay, all right, I will. All right, I'll give it a chance. No, I wasn't there when we landed on Juno Beach in the Second World War. I had aged out of the infantry at that point. I was in the officer corps. I was doing like, I was the guy, you know, you see in the World War II footage, like there's guys that are like cranking a radio and then going like, ah. I'm the guy like smoking cigarettes back on the, you know, forward operating base. That's like, I don't know, just keep pushing. That's me. Help me! Wait, okay, chickens, you're doing great. You have a drumstick, and your brain stops ticking. I don't know, it seems pretty good. They let bald people into the military? Bro, that's like, as soon as you get there, they're like, That's how you know the military was started by, like, a bald guy. As soon as you get there, you gotta match his haircut. It owns. Laser rifle, huh? I mean, seems like the sort of thing we should at least, like, give a try to. We should at least give it a shot. Kind of makes my brain feel weird. It seems pretty good. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna at least take it to level 3 while we can. Oh. Suppose I should reload before I enter the rooms in the future. Bow is better? You talking about Bo Horvat, or are you talking about the chicken bow? The have a drumstick in your brain stop ticking bow. I'd like to store these in case we get mage blood. I was talking about Bo Horvat. Well, that's fair. Like, he's been really good this season. A rare bright spot on the otherwise mediocre Vancouver Canucks for sure. I know I said it yesterday, but, like, you know, I'll say it again. Like, 2 years ago, if you'd been like, you know, we want to trade any of these players, I would be like, no, they're, like, my children. Now that our team sucks and I have, like, an actual child, I'm like, send them out. Honestly, if anything, I'm like, it's more like I feel like they're in an unfit parenting situation. So when people are like, would you be sad if Bo Horvat got traded? I'd be like, nah, man, he's done his time. Give him a chance to go win, like, a Stanley Cup on a contender, and if he wants to come back in the offseason, go ahead. I was talking to Jay. I was like, Jay, what do we have to give you to get you to take Quinn Hughes? He needs to be reunited with his brothers. Used to be like, no way, dude. Why don't you give us your 2 Hugheses and we'll keep Quinn because he's the best of them anyway. Now I'm like, dude, we gotta get Quinn out of here, man. Tell you what, give us, like, Sharon Govich. Give us your first in this year's draft, which is probably going to be, like, in the 20s. And we'll make it work, okay? Take our JT Miller contract off our hands somehow. And man hasn't been the same ever since he got yelled at the pumpkin patch. Or didn't. I need some stats, man. I need some stats, I need some perks. Some stats, I need some perks. How accurate is Letterkenny to Canadian culture? Actually, like, I haven't seen Letterkenny, really, so I couldn't tell you. But I will tell you that I grew up for, like, 8 years, between, like, 2nd grade and 10th grade. I grew up in a very rural area. Like, extremely rural area. And I feel like it has a lot in common with, like, the American South. Or maybe it just has a lot in common with rural areas anywhere, I guess. People watch, like, a lot of NASCAR. Families, you would drive through, like, the neighborhood, and it was, like, you know, a 1-minute drive between each house. But then, like, half of the houses, the garage doors were open, and there would just be, like, 3 dudes on lawn chairs drinking beer, looking out, like, at the road. Lots of, like, you would drive by houses that had, like, 40 cars on their lawn. It would have, like 4 sedans, and then, like, an RV, and then, like, a school bus with no tires. It was just different, that's for sure. You're actually describing Letterkenny? Okay. Then Letterkenny, you know, to a certain element of Canadian culture, yeah, it seems fitting, I suppose. We have permanent infusion effects, right? Yes. And then we finally got something for it. Sydenham? No, more rural than Sydenham. Even more rural, like, I mean, we're getting extremely rural pilled right now. Even more rural than, like, Yarker, okay? So for anyone from Eastern Ontario that's in the weeds on this one, like, we're getting very rural here. Trigger a refire with bow attacks. I have a gun, actually. I've never heard of Yarker, and I live in Ontario. Bro, Yarker's pretty sick. It has a corner store. It has a park. It has a bridge that a train sometimes goes over, I think. It has, sometimes in the summer, kids will set up a lemonade stand at the corner store. So, you know, like, seasonally, lemonade is also available, if that's the sort of thing that interests you. Berserker Axis. I don't know, man. I'm kind of like, I'm all about the laser rifle right now. I don't even have any shoes on, though. Have you been to Mississauga? Oh, many times. The provincial chess championships when I was a kid. I went as a participant, by the way, not as a spectator, which it's the logical joke. They were always in Mississauga, but I told people that they were in Toronto. I don't know what venue though. It was always like it was like a hotel conference room. Oh. We might actually have a shot here. But like the bosses only start getting hard after this. This guy's like, he's nothing. Wasn't even supposed to be around in the area. You know what we should do? Go to the tavern and try to get some illegal gun parts. No big deal. When you dash, a nearby enemy struck by lightning. Nothing wrong with that. You ever been to Etobicoke? I've never been to Etobicoke, but my college roommate in my first year was from Etobicoke. Now, he lives in Seattle. So, there's no... Rip Etobicoke, get owned. I'm just memeing, kind of, but... The West Coast stays winning. I only... In the GTA, like, I've been to Toronto several times, okay? I've been to Mississauga a few times. I've been to Burlington a few times. I'm rolling. Sure, let's try sharpshooter. And I've been to Oshawa a few times, but they all kind of seem like Toronto to me. Not in a bad way at all. No, I don't mean ass. Like when I grew up outside of Kingston, Ontario, which has like 100,000 people, but where I live definitely did not have 100,000 people. Maybe like somewhere between 100 and 1,000. It's charcoal pine resin again, you piece of crap. It was like exotic to go to. Excuse me, can I see what this says? Dashing deals 3,000 to 4,000 damage. It was exotic to go to Mississauga. I would be like, holy cow, you know, Don Cherry has like a restaurant that's only 10 kilometers away. There's like being in Toronto, you're like, that's the shit they show on in between periods on Hockey Night in Canada. Oh my God, they have a rainforest cafe. I'm not knocking Ontario at all. Like, come on, I'm not giving it the Saskatchewan treatment. Let's not be ridiculous here. Yum. Rapid fire bow. and it's already a +1. Let's just give it a chance, okay? Wish I kept my offhand item. Pog, he didn't say Alberta. Listen, it's like, if you're from California and you insult American states, you don't insult Texas. Because you're like, Texas, you know, they got their own thing going on. You insult Arkansas, which is next to Texas, but worse in every single way. I'm sorry. And if you're from Texas, you insult California because you're jealous. It's just, I know the way that this works within the same country. You know, it's like a sibling rivalry type thing. No disrespect to Arkansas or whatever. So you insult Manitoba? Well, like Manitoba, Saskatchewan. What's the damn difference, brother? You know it, listen, and this is not a knock on any particular province or on my own country in general, but we have like, you know, 10 provinces, 3 territories. There's actually like 5 provinces. There's like the Atlantic province, Quebec, Ontario, the prairies that are not Alberta, Alberta and British Columbia. Like those are the provinces in terms of like, you know, distinct identities between them. I don't need damage over time. I'm just gonna drink these because they're annoying me. Would you go to war for Canada? I would like rather not. Ideally. I don't know, I'd have to think about it. Kind of depends on the circumstances, I think. I would really rather not. Like, I don't have the skills, I don't think I have the temperament, I don't have that kind of, like, fervent, patriotic desire. What if they tried to take your Peloton? Well, you know, every man has to know his limits. That's true. And I am sick and tired of being pushed around. You know what? Fine, I'll do it. I think I would rather just move. I think, like, honestly, I'd like to think maybe, like, if we were being invaded or something by, let's just say, the United States of America, okay? Part of me is like, I've got to stay and fight because that's not fair. And part of me is like, you can catch me in Belgium 3 days from now with a textbook that says, learning Flemish. Flemish for dummies. You could catch my ass hiding out at the 1900 Strasplace. I don't know. I was just trying to come up with a Belgian street address or something. And saying things like, you know, whenever a new Jim Carrey movie comes out, be like, did you know Jim Carrey's from Canada, actually? Very interesting. No, I just happen to know a lot of... I studied there. I went to university there. I lived in Vancouver for a bit as well. Was born there, in many ways. Hey, hey, hey! I don't know. I'd have to think about it. It depends on the situation, man. Like, if it's a John Wick thing and somebody like killed my Peloton, I don't know. I can't be held responsible for what I'm gonna do. I would like to roll. Let's trigger a refire. This could get a little crazy with it. I know they don't want me, but I feel like, you know, if I couldn't live in Canada and I couldn't live in the US, I think a Nordic country would be sweet to live in. Not just because of their robust social safety net, but also because it seems like in the, like they seem, and if you're from the countries in the region, correct me if I'm wrong, but they seem antisocial like me. Like they don't talk to each other, strangers don't talk to each other. That's sweet. I could get down with that. I don't know if that's enough to, like, pass the citizenship test or whatever, but if the quiz was like, you know, you're waiting for the bus and you want to remark upon the weather to the person next to you, what do? I would say, oh, lock that shit down. I'm not talking to them. I put my headphones in and turn up the volume and pretend not to notice anybody else. Oh, charcoal pine resin again. Hello, Chiblee, by the way. Welcome, Chiblee. Welcome. What happened to your Nintendo eShop, Chiblee? Listen, I'm always happy. Like, you got a lot of streams lately that are like you and your girlfriend talking, which is like cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy for you, and she seems nice. I can't place her accent, though. I think she might be from, like, Cupertino. You know, like somewhere in Silicon Valley, San Francisco type, Bay Area, sort of, you know what I mean? She's from London. Would you say she's more of like, she's more into jelly beans or raspberry pies? You know what I'm saying? No? It's something to do with like Android operating systems, I think. I mean, Raspberry Pi is like, I don't know, it's like a little, it's a circuit board that you can use to make a magic mirror that shows you the weather. You could use it to display a real-time YouTube subscriber count. Whoa! I'm okay. Am I taking... I think I am taking hits. No, I'm not taking hits here. I'm always evading. Hey, my weapons suck. Is this the joke? +1 luck. Okay. I guess. You know, your ass is done. You can go. You can go. You can go. Let me just try you for a second, okay? I just want to see it. I like the walking sound in this. Tick, 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 tick. Is she like avocado toast or Arduino toast? Alright, I don't know what an Arduino is. It's a little damn... It's a little Tom Servo or something. What the hell is it? It's a microcontroller. What, like a Wiimote? No! I was banned for spreading shit on the walls at Nintendo Land. Dude, Nintendo Land was kind of sick in some ways when it came out. That was a game and a half. And by that I mean it was a game that had half a game inside of it. The game where you rotate the Wii U to try to get the Donkey Kong barrel to like get to the end, that was kind of fun. Everything else, not so much. I just... Whoa, whoa, whoa! I owned a Wii U. I actually owned 2 Wii U's. That's where the... Let me just explain it to you how it happened. I was working in the gaming industry at the time because I was 175,000 years old and still am. So I was like, oh, dude, I'm so excited for the Wii U. I gotta get it because I work in the business. We gotta take a look, right? Or not. And now I can't even afford this. Oh, but I have a... Hold on. You're a Cluck-Eye Bow level... Oh, whatever. Who cares? So I bought a Wii U. And then Kate and I decided to move in together. And she had also pre-ordered a Wii U. So when the Wii U came out, we had 2 Wii U's. So tell me, like, it wasn't fucking me on Craigslist trying to sell my Wii U Literally, the shit was shrink wrapped. It had never been opened. I was like, hey, it cost me, I think it cost me $300 or something like that. I said, Craigslist, new Wii U, still in packaging, plus one game, $250. And I wrote the sales pitch. I was like, I'm taking a $50 loss on this. I swear this shit has not even ever been opened. I will give it to you for under asking, but no haggling. And then every day for like the next 2 weeks, hey, I know you said no haggling, but what if I gave you an Xbox 360 and 100 games? No, I don't. You've just taken the thing that I don't want and then given me more things that I don't want. Or like, and this is like, it's the classic like choosing beggars, like subreddit experience. But like, hey, I can't afford $250. Can I have it for like 100? And then you're like, no. And then they're like, you ruined my kid's birthday, man. And you're like, I didn't do anything. It's because I wouldn't give you like a 70% discount on something to a complete stranger who, for all I know, might be lying. Wow, I sure hope my kid has a nice Christmas this year with no gift. And you're like, all right. Like, I'm not saying I wasn't party to this situation, but I didn't cause it. But you know what? If he's interested in getting an Xbox 360 and 100 games, I mean, like, apparently Craigslist is still like the world of the barter. So it's a nice auditory experience here, wouldn't you say? Okay, let's sat right inside of the laser there. That one's on me. So that shit is like why I don't sell anything. I don't anymore. Like, there's times we've had to like, you know, we have like quarter season tickets to the Canucks, and then we find out like at the last minute we actually can't make a game. I don't go on r/Canucks and I'm like, hey, is anybody interested in paying me like a little under face value for the tickets? I just go on the subreddit and I'm like, hey, giving away 2 tickets to the game tonight, no questions asked. I just get them. Somebody can use them. Get them out of my hair. If we can't find like friends or family that can go. But anyway, okay, we did beat death somehow. Hey, don't follow me. It's like every time we extinguish a torch or something, let it drag you back. No. Don't drag me back. No. Yes. It doesn't matter. No. It doesn't. Dash. When you say no, does that mean don't click no? Or does that mean click no? I think I'm screwed either way. Alright. Well, hey, look, we survived. At least, I mean, or we survived long enough to pay out the believers, at least. Let me, because someone on my subreddit posted, hey, just so you know, Tiny Rogues doesn't end when you beat death. There's an actual way to get past death, and you can do more stuff after that. So apparently, we just need to, you need to kill death 5 or 6 times, and then you can unlock the real game. Okay, I can do that. How about /marker